All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Space Coast Industry Leaders. This is a good one. We have Dewayne and Kirk from Carpenter Kessel in today. They are on track to do 500 families served this year. Pretty unbelievable. #1 team in the county. And I feel like there's a lot of value that they can bring us today. So without further ado, how you guys doing? Thanks for coming on.
Good. Thanks for having us. Thank you.
So I want to start with your team. I feel like that's just the biggest thing that we always focus on is just the team. And you guys have done a pretty crazy job of scaling it and having actual agents that are performing and producing and really just kicking butt out there. So I guess my first question is, how did you do that? How did you start to scale the team to have such, impactful people?
First it starts with talent.
Yeah.
And integrity. Those are the first two things that we look for in coachability. If you're not coachable and you don't have a growth mindset, then you're not going to be a fit for the team.
Yeah.
Not going to thrive. But if you have that growth mindset and, coachability, then, we've done it. We can take you from 5 million to 10 million, 10 million to 50 million, whatever your goals are and whatever bandwidth you have.
Right. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we're absolutely in the growth mode. So, I've been doing it 40 years. Dwayne's 26 years right now. And both of us are no signs of stopping. So our goal is to how big can we grow this machine?
Yeah.
Our goal is to dominate Brevard County with Compass.
Mm-hmm. I think you're on track.
Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah, you're
doing
trying.
Good. So it's a matter of he said the number one thing that we look for, not only in talent for the team, but also talent for staff, is one integrity. We want high integrity.
Are there certain questions that you ask people that maybe you ask right away that kind of helps trigger whether they're going to be a fit or not?
We do a disc profile that tells you a lot about the person.
Okay.
And are they a fit for the job or not? So that's kind of what we're looking at. Are you a fit? And then from there, we're looking at, I've had a job every year. I've moved every 1 year or 2 years. And then between the two of us, we know so many people. So if you said, hey, I work for Alex, for a while, we'd say, hey, Alex, what do you think of Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, I would never hire Joe. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah. So, that's what we're looking at. We definitely check the references. Mm-hmm. We're just looking for, what's your growth mind? Are you looking to grow your business? If you're not, probably not a fit. Certainly not for the CK team.
Right. People that you're not looking for stagnant. You're looking for growth.
No. And it's quality over quantity. Mm-hmm. So just within 1 year, we've taken Compass to have the most productive agents out of any other company in Brevard County.
And that's measured on houses sold?
It's measured on volume per agent.
Okay.
Right. So I don't want to mention any other companies, but if you have 160 agents and your volume is X, then you divide the number of agents into volume.
Okay.
And then that's how you understand where the productivity is.
Gotcha.
So I think whenever you look at broker metrics, we maybe have like 26, 27 agents, but, with 400 million in production.
Yeah. That's obviously impressive. So you guys are growing and you started a new branch, right? You started the Brevard team.
We did.
What is that about?
Brevard team is more of, we had a lot of people that said, hey, I want to be on the Compass team, but they just weren't a fit. We have certain things like we want someone that's doing at least $15 million a year, and we want to grow them from there. So if you got somebody that's doing $2 or $3 million a year, what we're doing then is saying, hey, let us put you on the Brevard team.
Okay.
We'll give you some training.
Yeah.
It's not going to be anything like you get on the CK side, but let's see what you got. Let's see if you're willing to run with this thing. So what it's been for us is almost like an incubator.
Lead-based team.
Okay.
So people that don't have a large sphere of influence and relying on leads, we're filtering leads to that team. And then that office is a very central location, right off of US 1 by Apocalypse Coffee.
Okay.
So these agents can zip anywhere within 10, 15 minutes mostly.
So what's your goal with this team? What are you really trying to accomplish with it?
Yeah, between this team and CK team and other teams that are under our tutelage, we want to grow this to $1 billion within the next 3 or so years to, like what Kirk says, to dominate Brevard.
Are you saying $1 billion a year?
$1 billion a year. So what that equates to is we're going to help 2,000 families buy or sell a house each year.
That's amazing.
Each year. And so once we hit $1 billion, then we revamp that goal. But depending on what happens with the economy, if it stayed like it is right now, we can do it in 3 for sure. Mm-hmm. If we have a bump over the next year or two, it might take us 5. But in the next 3 to 5 years, we'll definitely do 2,000 units in Brevard County.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you said 40 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah, I started in 1982.
That's a couple years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So why did you get into it? How did you get started?
Somebody just taught me into it. I was actually moved here to fly for, I was going to FIT.
Oh, okay.
I was in the flying school there, and I had money that I had sold a lawn business in Miami, but my folks weren't supplementing me at all. So I'm like, I'll go in the lawn business. Fast forward, I mowed for a year, and the guy mowed like 3 mobile home parks. He said, hey, have you ever thought of going into real estate? I'm like, nope. Nope, I really haven't. And the guy was just super nice. His wife was really nice. And so he and his wife, they were like 25 years older than me. They took me under their wing and said, hey, we'll feed you. We'll do this. We'll sell your little lawn business that you've had for a year. They sold it for $25,000 that I'd had for 1 year.
Not bad.
I'm like, hey, that's, my start money. And then literally my first year of real estate, I sold 55 houses.
Wow.
Yeah.
In your first year?
First year. And I worked like a dog. But he got me on the phone. I was making my calls, and it was history from there.
Yeah. I assume for a first year to sell 55 homes, that's like you had to be working.
Oh, yeah. I knew nobody. Remember this? I moved from Miami.
Yeah.
I moved up here to go to school, so I knew nobody. And he's like, get on the phone. I'm like, well, what do I tell him? So he gave me a little script, and I just called. Then I started door knocking. I love to door knock, so I door knocked a ton. And we did corporate relo for Harris. So that was back when I got people, and I'd put them in the car, and they were here for 3 days. You go sell them a house, and they would leave. You get the deal closed, and
and the word of mouth after 40 years really probably takes off.
It multiplies. It really does.
Yeah. All right. So how and when did you get started?
1996.
Okay.
Came from the surf industry. I was building surfboards, but I was also very interested in the investment aspect of real estate.
Okay.
So whenever I was 17, 18 years old, I used to go to courthouse and research Liz Pendon's files.
Oh,
This is before the internet. Mm-hmm. So I'd have to say, hey, I want these files. I'd get the files. I'd have to write down the information as far as legal description, because then I'd have to take that to the tax assessor's office, get on a DOS program, figure out where the addresses are, because legal descriptions don't tell you,
right?
In the mortgage, where the addresses are. And then I have to call these people up because at the time I thought I had some backing to buy these properties and whatnot.
You're trying to basically pay off the taxes, right? And
no, it's not a tax lien. It was actually for closed lien.
Oh, okay.
So you're looking for property, like I was looking for properties that were, they bought them in the 70s whenever interest rates were lower than they were, and with some equity.
Yeah.
And basically a cash for keys deal.
Got it.
So I figured that the easiest way to find more investment deals was to entrench myself in being a real estate agent.
Makes sense.
So transitioned from the surf industry into the real estate industry, and had a great mentor. Took me under his wing. I just listened to the way that he talked to people on the phone. I started in commercial real estate, so I had a strong investment.
You started commercial? Mm-hmm. That's a little unique, I think.
Yeah, strong investment. So I could look at I could run an APOD on a property, understand what the cap rate was, and be able to sell it.
Right.
But then I didn't like the turnover. It was just so much longer in deals, and I'm young. I want instant gratification.
Yep.
So I started selling a ton of oceanfront condos.
Okay.
And then that's really been my niche, was oceanfront condos and waterfront homes.
Yeah.
Especially from surfing, and being on the water.
Right.
It's easy to sell waterfront when you're passionate about it.
Makes sense.
And yeah, so it worked.
Okay, so you guys obviously got in at different times. You probably didn't know each other then. Mm-mm. So how did you meet?
I mean, strangely enough, Kirk's career after selling 55 homes just in the first year just skyrocketed.
Yeah, just exploded.
So this guy, whenever you'd go to like Meemall's or one of the restaurants, you had like Homes and Land, you had the real estate book, and you had Kessel companies.
Yeah, you had Kirk.
You had Kirk.
My own magazine.
Had his own magazine with nothing but his own listings.
Wow.
So he had a call center. He had recruiters. And that's whenever I met him, was actually one of his recruiters was calling and courting me to go to Kessel companies.
Okay.
At the time. I didn't go because I had the mentor. I was loyal and whatnot, but that was the intro.
Okay.
The actual first open house I ever went to on Lansing was one of Kirk's listings. That was my first intro.
Nice.
To Lansing Island. And then we met again in 2008 after he was retired at another riverfront property that he was actually looking to buy.
So you retired?
Yeah, I retired in officially in 04. I sold my company in 01, had to stay on for 3 years.
And you got bored?
And got bored out of my, after a year. Yeah, my wife's like, you got to get a job. You got to go do something. You're driving me crazy.
Yeah.
And I had a non-compete, so I really couldn't do much. So,
okay.
Yeah, we lived over in Europe. I had a company that I started in California, just kind of bebopping back and forth.
Yeah,
and
just having some fun.
Yeah, I'd run into him, when I was back in Melbourne. He's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I can't do anything. And finally he said, when's your non-compete up? I'm like, I'm not going back to work. No way, no way, no way. And he slowly, like a fish, reeled me in. He's like, how about this? Well, what if we just go on one listing presentation? What if we do this?
Yeah.
And it's such an interesting business. I mean, it's just you either love it or hate it.
Right.
I mean, I just love it. I mean, I wake up in the morning and I put my feet on the ground. I'm like, yeah, I get to sell houses. Yeah, I get to meet some people today. And I mean, I'm excited. I still love it after 40 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super exciting. So I wish other people could say the same thing about their jobs as we both say about our job. We absolutely love what we do.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell.
Yeah. It's exciting.
You can tell. So when did you come back into it then?
In 09.
09.
Yeah.
And you guys started Carpenter Kessel then?
Slowly.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we started branding Carpenter Kessel around 09.
Okay.
Or 10. Yeah, 2010.
Gotcha. And so what are some kind of short-term goals you guys have with Carpenter Kessel right now? Are you looking to bring more people on still?
Yeah, we want to on the Carpenter Kessel side. We're always looking for
more talent.
admin, and we're always looking for talent. So I mean, people come to us all the time. We always interview them. We always talk to them. I'm always willing to give somebody a half hour to an hour's worth of my time.
Yeah.
And decide, hey, are they a fit for either the Carpenter Kessel team or for the Brevard team, or something else? I mean, sometimes I just point them at a holder. Hey, this is not the career for you. Maybe you should talk to somebody else. I mean,
Or they want to build their own team.
Yeah.
They want to do so under our tutelage. Right.
I feel like that's really interesting. You guys have a few of those, right? Where Shane Bergen's a good example of he's building his own little team within your team. So
and Zach is, the Whitneys are.
Yeah.
Michelle, Danielle.
Yeah.
The M&M team.
That's amazing. So how are you helping them do that? It seems like you're promoting that, you want them to do it.
Yeah, it's a roadmap. So, you see a lot of people in other brokerages and the broker, whoever's touting oh yeah, we can build you a team and everything, but it's you've never done it. Mm-hmm. How are you going to take this person from where they're at and help them further their career?
Right.
So, we've done it, and it's a pretty simple roadmap that you can follow.
Yeah.
Based on where their business is coming from, average sales price, what type of admin, what type of support they will need to do that.
Yeah.
How many agents below them that they'll need to mentor to help them.
So you really lay it out for them. This is how you
the
want to
whole
do
map, the entire map.
Yeah.
And do it from an organic perspective, because the word team is such a buzzword, and we see all these illegitimate teams out there, meaning oh, you're an agent, you're an agent, you're an agent. Let's make a
come
team
together.
and we'll just put all our production together and let's call ourselves a team.
Yeah.
That's not a team. That's an illegitimate team. You don't have admin, you don't have an operations manager, you don't have, all this stuff that really
goes into it.
That the systems and process, a repeatable and scalable systems and process for your team and for your team members.
Yeah.
That's what you need to have a legitimate team, and then have team leaders that are leading by example.
Mm-hmm. I kind of want to talk about the marketing that you guys do, because from my perspective, we have a lot of clients, and you guys are the most consistent with just giving it 100% on every single listing. Mm-hmm. Is that something? And so what I mean by that is, there's photos, there's video, there's virtual tours, there's a floor plan, there's digital marketing, there's print marketing. It's all out every time.
There's a complete file on every single listing, meaning buyers shouldn't have to ask a ton of questions. We have we try to anticipate what every question a buyer's going to ask on a listing and already have it available.
Right.
So if you have 3 people interested in a listing at a time, all the information's out there, then maybe you can get 3 offers rather than 1 offer and 2 people still considering.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, is this something that you guys, you must have just tested this over time over the last, 40 years, right? It's what's the best kind of marketing here?
Yeah, but we've also been in, both of us are in separate mastermind groups. We constantly travel to see Tom Ferry seminars. Mm-hmm. We're meeting with these people that are doing, several $1 billion a year in production. We're okay, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Let's look at their videos. Let's look at the print material. Let's look at everything that they're doing. They're in California. Well, I can copy what they're doing in California and do it in Florida. I'm not going to copy someone in my own local market,
right?
But I'm going to go out of the market and say, okay, let's do what they're doing. They're doing something right.
And whatever the most emergent things are in the marketing world that either consumers are asking for, or you can see as a benefit as for selling virtually. So whenever COVID came, we were already set up selling 4 to 5 homes a week.
Yeah.
Whenever other agents were watching Netflix. Mm-hmm. I think we only had to order one other type of software. I think it was StreamYard or something, so that we could do our virtual open houses.
Oh, right.
But other than that, we were already streamlined.
Ready to go.
Do everything virtually.
Yep. You already had the virtual tours. You could send them links. You're ready to go.
Yeah. So whenever drones came out, we figured out okay, who has who can because you had to have a professional license, all these things that had to come with it.
Yep.
But I think we were flying drones in 2012.
Yeah.
And then whenever Matterport came out, the 3D tours, we bought a camera.
Right.
So,
we did. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. So whatever was, the most
cutting edge thing at the time,
we always try to go that direction.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember I started flying a drone maybe 8 years ago or so. And they were terrible then. I mean, I remember flying at like 40 feet away and it's like losing signal. And nowadays you can really do a whole lot. And I mean, we do with your listings. Like we do some really amazing things. But
listings, the subdivision, the neighborhoods, the amenities.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously you guys are doing a lot of residential. And I know you're doing a little bit of like development stuff too. I see Palm Beach.
Palm Beach, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a little interested in that. Like, how does that, is that something that you guys are pushing for more or?
Depends on the developer.
Okay.
I mean, over the years, we've probably turned down more developers than we've taken on.
Okay.
Because we also, whenever you market a developer, you're also taking on their reputation.
That makes sense.
And whenever things don't go right, people are looking at you.
Yeah.
Also, you have...
We had a similar conversation a little while ago about this.
We did.
Yep.
Yes. So, but yes, we have the horsepower. I mean, we basically run a media company ourselves.
Yeah,
with
basically.
All the marketing that we have and the people that we have on staff. So, it was funny because like before people were doing the virtual staging, we already had the rendering guys that were doing our development stuff.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's like we were even able to do that pre, including like one house on the canal that wasn't selling. So we had our rendering guy go in and show like, hey, this is what it's going to look like completely renovated.
Yeah.
This was years prior to Box Brownie and all those other companies out there.
All the people that do it.
Yeah.
Online.
But to answer your question, we have a development arm division of the company. We have a rehab division of the company.
Oh.
So we have different divisions of the company. We have a condo division. I mean, Dewayne sold more condos than anybody in the county.
Yeah.
So it's like, why not have a division doing that? And so, then we've got Amy Kalman that knows. Literally, you call and say, "Hey, there's a house up in such and such in Viera. Oh yeah, that's this floor plan, and it's got it's got kind of a weird closet." I mean, she knows just like he does the condos. So
yeah,
and then Toll Brothers changed that floor plan because it wasn't selling well.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it's unbelievable. So each person on our team has somewhat of a niche. Typically, he's definitely got the condo niche. I mean, you can
oceanfront.
Yeah, on the ocean. So people say, "Hey, how many where can I take my 80-pound dog?" He's like, "There's only 4 condos. They're this one, they're this, and this." Nobody else knows that information.
Yeah.
I mean, just silly little trivia like that. Oh, does this condo have a first right of refusal? No, but this one and this one and this one do.
8-foot ceilings, 8-foot floor ceilings, 9-foot ceiling. Yeah, which one?
Yeah. So, I mean, when the balconies were read, all that stuff is important to know.
Of course.
If you're representing a buyer. And again, most of your condos now are pushing $1 million. I mean, so it's, you've got sophisticated buyers out there spending a lot of money. They want to know that you know what you're doing.
Yeah. And man, that takes so many years of just selling condos to know all of that. Just to know, I mean, the ceiling height in a condo.
I've sold at least one condo in every oceanfront building, or at least wrote a contract on one, from Sebastian Inlet all the way down to Pineda Causeway.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so the development,
that's a couple.
Yeah, the development thing, to answer your question, we really want to do it. We like that a lot. We think it's fun. We've got a handful.
It looks fun.
We've got a handful of developers we work with. We just love them. I mean, they're exciting. Dewayne spends hours and hours just mulling over the
long term,
the floor plans. I mean, sometimes it's 3 years before they ever break ground.
Yeah.
So they'll come and say, "Hey, we bought this property and we're thinking about building this condo." We'll look at it and Dewayne will say, "Nah, this should be a townhouse project. This should be a high rise. This should be this. Whatever it is." And they'll go back and say, "Okay," and then they come back and they get.
So you have a lot of input on it.
Oh,
we want a lot of input because you don't want to have a developer just hand over a product that had
here, just sell this.
Sell this.
Yeah.
We think that this works, and it's like,
the windows are too small, the doors are too short.
And you're probably looking at profitability for them too, not just
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Like you don't need sliders here. You can put fixed glass or do storefront glass here instead of we can see little things.
Wow, I didn't realize you had so much input into that kind of project.
Well, and what you don't realize is the input sometimes 3 and 4 years before the project ever gets going.
Right.
So, I mean, you
3
collaborate.
years to get built.
3 years to get something built on the ocean anymore. So your payday could be 6 or 7 years out.
Right.
Yeah, it makes it's
you got to want to do that.
Yes. Yeah, and you got to be in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
So we're both in it for the long haul. We know that this new project we have right now, it's 3 towers. It's probably a 5, 6, 7 year project.
Wow.
But it's exciting.
Yeah.
And if we get it done in 3, whoop whoop. But there's obstacles that we'll run into, with the DOT and the county and all that fun stuff and
permitting and all
everything.
that.
Everything takes a little bit longer than we think it should all be done in 60 days, and it doesn't happen that way.
No, doesn't seem to. So, any fun projects on the horizon that you can talk about?
Nothing that can be released like publicly yet because it's still in. There's still all the governing. You got to get the approvals on the government from all the governing authorities and
Gotcha.
get a green light.
Yeah. Just don't want to quite put your name on it yet. All right. I mean, I think that's my main questions for you guys. I think, is there just anything else that you would like to tell anybody about, Carpenter Kessel or following you guys or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're an agent out there listening and, you're a $3 to $7 million producer where your broker's kind of taking you to where you feel like you're at a
plateau.
Yeah, like a plateau. Have a conversation with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have a coffee and talk and see how we can get you from 7 to 14 or 14 to 28.
How should they reach out?
Just call the office.
Just call.
Yeah, call and say, hey, I want a meeting. And, like I said, I'll give anybody, an hour's worth of my time for something like that. And, and sometimes I'll tell them, hey, you're better off to stay where you are.
Right.
And it's a good fit for you. Or, hey, we're not the right fit. This is a better fit for you. I mean, we've done that a lot. We have a lot of new agents call us, and we're just really not geared up for brand new agents.
Yeah.
It's a whole different niche, but there are
there's a lot of different kind of training there.
Yeah.
Not that we don't want them, we're just not geared up for that. That's just not
that's not your roadmap.
Yeah, my son, we didn't even bring my son on the Carpenter Kessel team because we're not geared up to train somebody new. I mean, he moved to Jupiter. I mean, as much as I'd love to have him work with us, it's not a good fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he did go to Compass, which we went to Compass
100%.
almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Best move ever.
Yeah, they in just their short time in existence, they're a Forbes 500 company. They're the largest independent local or largest national independent brokerage as far as volume's concerned.
Okay.
Meaning the amount of homes or dollar volume that they sell. And I mean, we joined them because literally they are dominant in all of our feeder markets. You go to most of these sellers here and you say, hey, where's my buyer going to come from? They're going to say, hell, New York. Oh, great. Compass has 26% market share in New York.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then during the pandemic, whenever a lot of people, were moving out of California, well, they have like 57% market share in San Francisco. They have all these large market shares. So for example, we just joined Compass and we had a buyer come from Sonoma County, buy something sight unseen on Riverside Drive, just all virtually, and that was through Compass.
Wow.
That was through the Compass network.
Yeah, so it's brought you a lot of opportunity that you just
Lots
wouldn't
of
have had.
opportunity.
Yeah, well, there's over 30,000 agents. They got over 1,000 tech people that are doing all the tech stuff behind the scenes. So it's like nothing I've ever seen. I mean, just nothing. When Dewayne brought it to me, I'm like, nah, I don't know.
Yeah.
And just the quality of the admin and the managers that we deal with.
Right.
Oh, unbelievable. Phenomenal.
Yeah, just phenomenal. And then the tech that they bring to the table saves agents all this time, because their automatic or their AI will take photos, look at what's in the photos, and create a narrated or captioned video.
Really?
Within 3 minutes or 2 minutes. You just line it up.
Wow, that's amazing.
Same thing with postcards. Same thing with digital marketing. Because Facebook, as you know, all the algorithms change, and Instagram, everything else.
Every
you
day.
just go on the back end of Compass. You throw in hey, I want to advertising and I want to target buyers in Winter Park, Windermere, and Vero Beach.
Yeah.
And then you run the ad. Literally takes you 2 seconds.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But that's all the stuff and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
As far as what they have.
I mean, what were some other reasons that you moved there then?
Like I mentioned, the having dominant market share.
Yeah. I feel like it's got to be a big reason.
That was huge.
We didn't expect the referrals we're going to get. We got a ton of referrals.
And the fact that they have brand standards, quality over quantity.
Yeah.
That resonates with us.
I feel like the branding matches you guys well.
Yeah, the other thing that
Very
we liked,
clean.
the other thing that we liked a lot about Compass was part of their standards were, you had to be doing what was $100,000 a year in GCI.
Okay.
You had to be in the business for at least 2 years. So they weren't hiring a bunch of new agents. So typically when I'm referring something out to somebody, this agent is a big hitter. I mean, in their market. I mean, it's, we were looking at a guy.
Like you're dealing with experienced people.
Yes. So it makes a big difference. So if I call, ABC Real Estate Company and say, I want to refer something, you don't know who you're going to get.
Yeah.
With the Compass agent, it's like, listen, I looked at the dossier and that's the Compass agent I want right there. And
right.
They're like, well, we have 4 others that might even be a better fit for you. You're like, oh, really?
Yeah. You want to make sure that you're not just like getting good referrals, but you're able to refer people,
we've
something that you're confident with.
And we've expanded our market area too. There's been so many times where we have sellers in other areas that we know they're going to call us and want to deal with us, but we don't service it. Well, we just co-list with another Compass agent in those areas, and vice versa. Like the Chad Carroll team, I think they're the number one team in Florida. Do $840 million just as a team.
Wow.
Whenever they had a condo up here, we co-listed with them.
Yeah.
So there's just been so many opportunities that Compass has brought us that we never had before.
Not in my 40 years have I ever had the opportunities.
And we doubled our business too.
Wow.
In 2 years.
That's amazing. After already have done and have been doing it for so long. I mean, that's
Well, now we're looking to double it again.
yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, we'll do it.
We can do it.
We'll do it together.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys, that is going to be it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you guys for coming on, and hopefully we'll have you on again.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.